guys, welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next we're going to take a look at another one of the figures from the Black Series archive line, but this time it'll be from Wave 2. The character we'll be looking at is this guy here, Anakin Skywalker, someone I've been wanting to add to the collection for quite some time in this scale. I'm glad I finally got a hold of him. Before we look at him, we'll take a look at the packaging this one comes in. As you can see, it's the same as the archive wave before, just except with it being Wave 2, nothing much different. Of course, there's the name there on the side, and the archive indications sort of identifies that this is from a repack. And then just there in the corner you have the artwork there of Anakin Skywalker, sort of, I think it's kind of meant to depict him defeating the Jedi in the Jedi Temple in Revenge of the Sith. There's a bigger picture of it on the back, so, because this has been a popular artwork of Anakin. I've seen it on loads of stuff before, so it's a good one to choose with. And then of course you also have a picture of the original figure from Wave 3 back in 2014. I believe it was Wave 3, it might be Wave 2, correct me if I'm wrong. And there's the bio as well. If you want to read that, just feel free to pause the video. You can read it. I'll just bring it closer to the camera so you can see it. But yeah, that's basically the same as the packaging. It's the same as before, nothing too much different. Other than that, it's just archive look compared to the original. And we're looking at this figure, and this is a great figure in all ways, but it is also has some letdowns as well. Now I didn't own the original Anakin figure from the Black Series line, but I did see reviews of them, and there were several problems with it, tending to be down towards the lower part of the body, that Hasbro still haven't rectified. Like, they could have fixed this well, because they had sort of a flimsy feel for the knees, and it's what these, and even on the legs, it's what this one has as well. Like, Hasbro didn't correct it, and that bothers me quite a bit. Like, they had all this time to fix all the problems that the figure had, and the other one came with the lightsaber as well. Like, it's a great sculpt of Anakin's version of this lightsaber, because there are slight differences between this version and the version that Luke and Rey have wielded, and it's also come with it's been made with flimsy plastic. Like, you can bend the plastic of the hilt, and I just think Hasbro could have fixed that for the re-release archive line, and they could have made that look better, but they haven't. And the same goes for the mechanical arm, because that's actually in a brown paint, like matching the rest of the tunic, and again, that's something Hasbro could have corrected for this release, and they haven't. So it's just, yeah, the only real difference they have is the new sculpt for the face, because they've given it a photoreal face print on there, and that's really, really good. Whereas they haven't, just for everything else that was a problem in the old version, they just haven't fixed it. And I just think that could have been a good thing to do, to fix the figure, but they haven't. So that's kind of still gives this figure a bit of a letdown, but it does work okay for display purposes. And the brown sculpted arm, I'm actually going to paint over that after I've filmed this review, because I want to have it looking better. Because they did really well with the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. I thought they'd have done well with Anakin too, but they haven't. And yeah, that was one of the reasons I wanted this figure badly, because I've had this one for some time. I just didn't have Anakin to go with him, but now I do. Just gonna put him back on the shelf there. There we go. But putting all this aside, I still think this is an awesome figure, and as I've said, the facial sculpt has been improved on. Because I know that had some issues, but they've really, really improved on it, because this figure actually comes with two heads. So this one is the Anakin Skywalker head, and that photoreal face technology works. So it reminds me of the Anakin face from Battlefront 2, if any of you watching play that. But that really works. And then the other head you get is a dark side Anakin head, and I saw pictures of the original one, and it just looked really bad compared to it. But what you can see me do is pop this head off easily, just like that, and then replace it with dark side Anakin. I know the original one looked really bad, but this one is actually an improvement. So at least Hasbro didn't fully stop on it. Like, they actually caught Vader's red eyes in this. Like, it's very hard to see. It was more of his yellow eyes. It's very hard to see, but they are there, and I'm aware that they are. But it's just the case of everything else could have been improved. They could have made this figure so much better, because a lot of the good stuff's already staying there as well. Like the leather texture on the tunic on the top half, that stays, and that's really, really good. Like it's all leathery textured, and it's really great. It's like the coolest thing about this figure. The only problem was the still flimsy bits could have been made better. However, this head does still kind of suffer the, as Sithlord229 described it, spaghetti head thing, and I will agree with that. It does still suffer it a little bit, and the giraffe neck problem that this new head has, because you can actually see the gear for the hinge under there if you look closely, and that kind of lets this one down. But I tend to display him with this head because I just think it suits the figure better. There we go. But I'll give a rundown of the articulation. He has a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders and elbows, swivel wrists, ball jointed torso, ball hinged hips, which of course pop out like that, swivel thighs, double joints at the knees, and a ball joint rocker at the ankle. So that's all the same articulation that we've had before. And again, as a display figure, he's really good, especially in this form. Like, I really like this one, and I was almost ashamed that I never bought the original Anakin, but I'm glad I waited and picked up this one instead, just for the face. I mean, it always reminds me of the Hot Toys Anakin that is also out now, because with this photoreal face technology, the only one that really beats it is the Hot Toys one. I'll just put a picture there so you can see what I mean. I think maybe the Tamashii Nations one probably has the edge over it as well, but it's a close match to that too. I'll just display a picture of Tamashii Nations Anakin as well. But this figure is a great addition, especially if you're trying to build on prequel characters like I am, and Anakin is no exception to that. Now, of course, the one other major thing I'll just say is that the Hasbro didn't include a Jedi cloak with Anakin. That's something it didn't do in the original. I thought that was maybe something they could have done to upgrade this figure, but they haven't. So it's not too much of a letdown. I mean, some figures already do have cloaks, so you could just switch them around if you wanted to, like the Mace Windu one. But it honestly looks better without one on the shelf, and I think he works that way. So that is Anakin from the Black Series Archive Wave 2. I'll leave a link to where you can buy this in the description below. Do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.